Leadership power develops your collective intelligence systems. Welcome to this episode of Leadership Power Paradigms. This is Bill Thomas, your host and presenter. And as is our custom, we always wait a few extra seconds to begin, just to allow people to join us today. And this promises to be another in-depth exploration of leadership power, and we're looking forward to bringing it to you. So now I've waited my mandatory amounts of time, and I'm going to begin right now. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Leadership Power Paradigms. This is Bill Thomas, your host and presenter for today's episode. We have a ton of knowledge to explore in our 14 or so minutes of today's session, so let's get to it. More than 3,500 years ago, when King Solomon built the Lord's Temple in Jerusalem, he needed to collaborate with and rely on King Hiram of Sidon to supply and ship the strong timbers, those cedar trees of Lebanon, that Solomon's people required to build that temple structure. Following the execution by crucifixion and resurrection of Jesus Christ, 3,000 plus of his followers were blessed with the gift of the promised Holy Spirit and began their collaborative effort of spreading the gospel, the good news of God's manifold grace, gifts of salvation, and everlasting life through mankind's acceptance of and belief in the Lordship of Jesus Christ. And for these previous 2,100 years, that good news spreading mission is still being successfully pursued and achieved throughout the world. For various species of ants, bees, and birds, it is completely natural and totally instinctual to operate with a collective, intelligent manner. For any organized human enterprise, we must formulate a foundational set of values, principles, and guidelines to help us form, strengthen, and optimize the full potential of our collective intelligence. As you will continue to see, collective intelligence suggests a group's or team's ability to receive, process, or evaluate, transmit, and distribute information efficiently, elegantly, and effectively. There are some organizations which possess a great amount of collaborative intelligence. For instance, the founders of Whole Food Markets deliberately started doing business through a structure of values-driven collaborations and exceptionally strong relations with the farmers and food producers who supplied the fresh or organically raised goods, with its contractors and other vendors, and of course, their management teams work regularly and closely with the employees and community stakeholders. Whole Foods CEO John Mackey supports the collaboration structure by focusing his team member development tasks on four critical energizing areas. One is analytical intelligence, or IQ, emotional intelligence, or EQ, systems intelligence, or SYQ, and spiritual intelligence, or SPQ. Derived from the Greek for putting together, the word system means any group of interrelated elements involved in a collective entity. A system, says Buckminster Fuller, is a conceivable entity dividing universe into two parts, the inside and the outside of the system. Fuller began to see a persistent message of interdependence. He was later to discover the precisely descriptive word synergy, but even without that lexical advantage, a sense of interacting parts increasingly dominated his vision. More like the poets and artists of his generation than the scientist, Fuller was drawn to relationships rather than objects. There are no solids, no continuous surfaces, only energy event complexes and relationships. The energizing, those information carrying or informating mechanisms at work within social ecosystems include the processing, communicating, sending, and receiving or transducing and responding or connecting, signaling intention, desire, position, symbols, or protocols, filtering or blocking, channeling or controlling, amplifying, attenuating, transforming or rectifying, translating, or formatting of information. When describing the structure of collectively intelligent networks, Dr. Mark Malonis informs us that structure consists of a discrete set of nodes and a specified set of connections between the nodes, and that we must appreciate that there are the dynamics of the nodal variables and that the dynamics are controlled by the connection strengths. And this will include the input output rule of the individual nodes, and that finally we need to understand that the operations of our collaborative network, we will discover that there is learning. In its most general sense, learning describes how the connection strengths and hence the dynamics evolve. In general, there is a separation of timescales between dynamics and learning, where the dynamical processes are much faster than the learning processes. Why are leadership actions systemic? Because, as Buckminster Fuller defines it, all systems consist of four or more points which divides universe into two parts. Here are the group of four interrelated energy events that collectively form the complex of and has a relationship to a leader's action in the universe. The first energy event is an action on. We see this event as being physical in nature and tangibly productive in its effect. The second energy event is an action with. We understand this event as being intellectual in nature and purposely qualitative in its effects. The third energy event is an action for. We accept this event as being spiritual or emotional in nature and motivationally imaginative in its effects. The fourth energy event is an action towards. We perceive this event as being developmental in nature and educationally transformative in its effects. Now, of course, we have been told that there are a minimum of four energy events operating in any structural system, so it is possible that many more types of energy events could be at work within a single act of leadership. For example, we could easily employ our imaginations and accept the fact that there could be other less orderly, nearly destructive, more power absorbing or versus power producing types of actions, such as actions against, actions off, actions away, actions from, actions apart, and so on. Peter Drucker said, "A leader's job is to inspire." To inspire means to inform, instruct, incite, influence, inculcate, investigate, intuit, intimate, or more information products, then send or receive signaling which shows they understand the meaning and message, that they may act, behave, react, or physically do something that proves they understand the other person. And there's screening, which always says they understand your meaning and message, where your questionings, conversations, consultations, or confrontations may suggest or reveal that the person understands you. You do not know what, why, how much, when, where, or who they mean when they say they know. Collaborating leaders perform a service by complying with Durkheim's axiom of social authority and using their service that helps people tell us what they mean, what their ideas are and why they think the way they do. Remembering always that words, numbers, and gestures are just symbols, symptoms, signposts, stories, and signals of reality. You can use Akerlof's law to transmit and receive the signaling, which shows you that they understand your meaning and message, that they may act, behave, react, or physically do something that proves that they understand you, or screening, which says that they understand your meaning and message. Your questionings, conversations, consultations, or confrontations may suggest or reveal that they understand you or that they understand the group or team. We know that leadership or professional power consists of an ability, skill, strength of mental attitude or aptitudes, insightful intuition, and imagination. Employing any agency of signification can instill or communicate or establish empathy, trust, commitment, meaning, or purpose, credibility, inspiration, and confidence throughout the group or the team. The purpose or goals of leadership or professional power is to make inroads towards finding solutions, uncovering problems, discovering new possibilities, or producing improvements in people, processes, or products, or shaping innovations in your techniques, usage of time, standards and models of doing things, and technological applications. When your collaborating partners use a system like the CASE model, their power will increase. What's the CASE model? It employs the functions of the comparator, who audits, assesses, or analyzes, the activator, who assumes or delegates the taking of action, the selector, who evaluates or discriminates information relevancy, and the expediter, who facilitates or enables fruitful processes or progressions. Dr. Amy Edmondson explains Bucky Fuller realized that in a universe consisting entirely of fast moving energy, we must ask how something holds its shape. Fuller concluded that structure is defined as a locally regenerative pattern integrity of universe. That's a good starting point. However, structure is also a complex of events interacting to form a stable pattern. Similar, but let's be more specific, the pattern consists of action, not things. Regenerative is an important qualification because of the transient nature of energy. The pattern, not the energy flowing through, has a certain degree of permanence. A structure must therefore be continually regenerating in order to be detected. So then, we must accept that structure is local because it is finite. It has a beginning and an end. We cannot have a total structure of universe. And finally, we believe that interacting signifies Bucky Fuller's critically important emphasis on relationships. Perhaps the best form of collaboration is that of a joint journey taker. The shared adventure usually results in stronger, longer lasting relationships between colleagues, especially when that journey achieves or attains the summit or objective or realizes the high plateau of wonder and glory. Your projects, developmental programs, and change initiatives can best be approached as a team-driven exercise or journey towards something that is better and more worthwhile than your current circumstances or conditions. You had an opportunity to examine the roles and purposes of collectively intelligent systems, or how the operational structures which enable your collaborative intelligence and its endeavors make it easy for your teamwork, group-based projects, or strategic collaborations to prosper and succeed. In every one of these collective activities, you must empower each individual participant to assume leadership, accountability, and commitment to the making their best possible effort to achieve a successful outcome, regardless of the acceptance or adoption of their products by the marketplace or management. As long as each person realizes that deep and valid learning occurred, then the project achieved a measure of success for all future projects. This ends today's lesson. Now, you're looking at a catalog of materials, training, and the coaching support, which are featured in my Leadership Power Paradigms Producer Tools program. You can see that this program is designed to dramatically improve your leadership performances and use your leadership strengths to comprehensively empower the achievements of your people. Right now, this program is available to you at my lowest possible price. So I urge you to visit the webpage that you see right in the middle of this slide, which is www.one-iam.com/LPP tools. Again, that's that big web address that you see right in the center of your slide there. Or if you're on the registry, if you registered for the replay or replay recording, you'll see on the right hand side of your screen a button that says enroll and get started now. When you click that button that you see on the right hand side of your screen, it will open up a new browser tab or new browser window, and it will take you to the page that explains a lot more about this program. So if you like what you see on that page, go ahead and get going now. Don't forget that I always offer my famous no questions asked, no risk to you, money back guarantee for this program and all of my programs, so you really have nothing to lose by enrolling now in this awesome educational program. And when you, if once again, I'll direct you to the right side of your screen. Just all you need to do is just click that enroll and get started now button. And as you're doing that, and it opens up a new browser tab or new browser window, I'm going to run back over to our control panel, and I'm going to send you the two links to our two bonus gifts. Once again, those bonus gifts for attending today's session and for those of you attending the replay recording, those bonus gifts are: one, the 5 Leadership Uplifter Task infographic. It is a PDF document. If you download that, you'll see that it will fit very nicely and very neatly on one sheet of paper. And I would encourage you to download it and to print it out and to put it on your desk or put it on a wall where you can refer to it as you go through your leadership duties and take your responsibilities as a leader. You'll find that one or more of those 5 actions are what you should be doing. And if you're not doing one or more of those 5 actions, then you're not really acting as an effective leader. And then the other thing that we have, the other bonus gift that we have for you, is an 8-page Words with Wisdom paper. It also is a PDF document, and you can download it and read it online, or you can read it on your computer screen, or you can print it out, since it's only 8 pages long, but it contains principles and tips and strategies and other things that we've covered in this episode and previous episodes of Leadership Power Paradigms. So I think you'll find that a great resource as well. Okay, so while you're doing that, I'm just going to also refer to those of you who are on the replay recording of this episode, that if you look on the right hand side of the screen, you will also see an area that says questions, and just fill in or type out your question or your comment about anything to do with leadership, whether we covered it in this episode of Leadership Power Paradigms or not. Just type in your question or your comment. And when you click the email us, it will automatically send a email to me, and I'll have your name, and I'll also have your email address so that I can reply back to your question or comment. And if you want to put in your phone number, if you're located in the US or in Canada, then you can include your phone number as well. Otherwise, if you're located outside of the US or Canada, then I encourage you to include your Skype ID. Skype is a free service that works on just about any type of computing device, so that's a nice thing. And just include your Skype ID, and I will give you a call on Skype, and that way we can actually have a better conversation than just a telephone call, because I can type in the links. I can provide you with links to articles or papers that might explain or give you more of an explanation about your question or comment. And many times I'll even upload one of my own papers or articles or reports or something along those lines to help you to say, oh, okay, that's what we were talking about, and that's a little bit clearer answer than just my conversation with Bill. So anyway, that's a great way to get some free stuff from me. Anyway, I'm looking at the comment field. I don't see any comments or questions, so I'm going to say I thank each and every one of you for joining us today and or on the webinar replay. This is Bill Thomas. This has been this episode of Leadership Power Paradigms. God bless each and every one of you. Godspeed to you all. And I wish you all the very best of success in all of your leadership endeavors. This is Bill Thomas saying take care, and I look forward to seeing you in future episodes.